So you're considering visiting Blackpool Pleasure Beach, but you don't know which of its 38 attractions to prioritise. Don't worry, I've got you covered. Hello and welcome back to ThrillNet, bringing you everything thrill related in the UK and beyond via the internet. And today I'm bringing you a video in which I'm going to rank all 38 rides and attractions at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. My aim by doing this is to help those of you who are maybe considering visiting Blackpool Pleasure Beach to know which rides and attractions to prioritise to make the most out of your day. I'm going to be using the TierMaker website to do this, and this is a website where you can basically rank whatever you want in a range of different tiers. I've created a so-called tier list on this website which contains 6 tiers ranging from amazing to not pleasurable, and I'm going to be placing each ride and attraction at the park in one of those 6 tiers. Amazing means that the ride or attraction is absolutely incredible, whereas not pleasurable means it's absolutely terrible. I will also include a link in the description to this tier list so that you guys can have a go at ranking these rides and attractions if you wish. So starting off then, we have Alice Ride, and for anyone who doesn't know, this is an indoor dark ride themed to the books Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. And yeah, it's alright, this one. It's not the best dark ride at the park, but it's definitely not the worst. But it is good, you know, it's a difficult one, average or good. If you're a family and you have children or whatever, you really enjoy this one, the children will love it, and you'll probably be putting it right near the top of the list. However, this is coming from a thrill seeker's perspective who's a big fan of coasters, so we'll put this in good. And next we have Darby Racer, and this is a carousel ride at Pleasure Beach. It's a very, very fast carousel. It's really fun, however you have to hold on for dear life, otherwise you could literally fall off this thing. But you know, it's great. I really enjoy this ride, however hold on tight as I said. Next we have Diego's Rainforest Rescue. This is a balloon ride in Nickelodeon land. It's little spinning children's sort of flat ride with some balloons that raise up in the air and spin around. And it's in Nickelodeon land. The UK's only Nickelodeon land is located at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, for anyone who didn't know. And this one, it's a bit biased because I'm a thrill seeker, but it's boring, to be honest. It's one of the weaker rides at the park. However, again, if you are a family with children, the kids are gonna love that thing. But next we have Ice Blast, the first sort of thrill ride on the list. However, Darby Racer is kind of a thrill ride, to be fair. But first, what Pleasure Beach class as a thrill ride? This is a shot tower manufactured by S&S for you geeks out there who I'm sure already know what it means, but oh well. And you basically get shot up in the air to about 200 foot. It's the second tallest ride in the park, and then you free fall back down. You get pushed up in the air a couple more times. And it is another one that I'll probably put up to great, to be honest. I've actually done another one of these, Dr. Doom's Fearfall at Universal, which is much better. But when you consider the rides that Pleasure Beach has, Ice Blast is great, to be fair. Next we have Icon. Now, this ride, those of you who watch the channel on the regular will know how much I love this ride. It's my #1 coaster. So it goes straight up to amazing. It's incredible. It's got lots of rapid transitions, twists and turns. It's got airtime hills. It's got an inversion in there. Yes, one inversion. Some say Icon has 2 inversions, but let's not get into that debate. But yeah, it's an absolutely incredible ride that you must ride when you go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. So there we go. This one, however, is not so great, and it is Impossible, which is a little walkthrough with some mirrors. And this is, you know, I could argue the worst attraction at Blackpool Pleasure Beach out of all the 38 rides and attractions there, because, you know, it takes up a massive space and it's pointless. It's just this walkthrough with loads of like mirrors and stuff. and it's just not interesting. And at the end, you have this like haunted swing ride thing where you just sit there for 5 minutes and like it barely moves, and then this like room thing rotates, and oh my word, it's just the most pointless ride, attraction, whatever you want to call it, ever. So as you can probably guess there, it's going straight in not pleasurable. Pleasure Beach, get rid of it. You called the Pleasure Beach, you should not have an attraction there that's not pleasurable. Get rid of it to make space for your next major coaster. Our next attraction on the list then is the Dodgems, and this may be controversial, but I'm not a fan of Dodgems. You know, this is just your classic Dodgems attraction you can really find anywhere, and it's not that special. And I'm just not a fan of Dodgems. I'm not a fan of getting bashed about and whatever. I don't know why, I'm just not. So not pleasurable. It can go in there. Next we have Dora's World Voyage, and this is a little boat ride in Nickelodeon land that takes you on a nice voyage around the world. However, I'm not a massive fan of it, which is just biased because it's Dora the Explorer at the end of the day. I think it's I would say I have to put it in average really, because I just feel like it'd be really biased, like too biased to put it in boring. But you know, the theming's good, so we can give it credit for that. You know, we'll put it in average. Next we have Eddie Stobart Convoy Ride, and that's going straight down to not pleasurable. It's another pretty pointless attraction that only really little children would enjoy. It doesn't do anything special or anything at all. It's another one that's a waste of space, to be honest. So yeah. Fairy World Taxi Spin. This is another little flat ride that spins round in Nickelodeon land. However, this time you're sat in taxis instead of hot air balloons. The cool thing about this flat ride though is that you can use a lever in each taxi to move it up and down. So I think that's quite cool, but again, it's one I'll put in boring. But you know, if you do have young children, then you definitely don't want to miss out on that one. Flying Machines is up next, and this is another spinning flat ride. It's actually the oldest ride at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It opened in 1904, and it's located on the North Entrance Plaza, right near the entrance to the park. It's a bit bigger than the Nickelodeon flat rides though, and a bit more thrilling, and I really enjoy it. You know, you can see over Valhalla. It's really good at the moment because you can see over to the Valhalla construction, because Valhalla, one of Pleasure Beach's dark / water rides, is currently undergoing a massive refurbishment due to reopen in 2022. So that's definitely a ride you want to go on to see that. And you know, we'll put it up to good because I do enjoy this ride, to be fair. Gallopers Carousel is up next, and it's basically, you know, your standard carousel style ride. Nothing really special about it. Again, it's probably one that I will put down to boring, to be honest, because it doesn't really offer anything new. Next up is Ghost Train, you know, your classic Ghost Train haunted house ride, and it's actually the original Ghost Train, the very first one, and this is a really good dark ride. It gets updated often with modern effects, despite, you know, having opened in the 1930s. You know, it definitely has that classic feel to it. However, Pleasure Beach are always updating it with new effects. It got something new in 2020 actually, but again, I'm going to put this one up to good because I really do enjoy it. Or do we want to put it up to great? Good or great? Probably good. Next up is a controversial one, Grand National, the Mobius Loop wooden roller coaster. It's actually one roller coaster. However, it gives the illusion that there's actually two roller coasters because you're racing against another train on the other side of the track. And the way it works is you basically only complete half the layout of the coaster when you ride it, and you finish on the opposite side of the station to where you started. Now, this one can be a bit rough. However, As long as you sit on the non-wheel seat, you'll be fine. And I love this coaster. It gives loads and loads of airtime, and you know, it deserves to be up in great. And I'm actually going to move Ice Blast down to good, because when I think about my rankings of Pleasure Beach rides, Ice Blast is more sort of in good. There's quite a few roller coasters and other rides are rated above Ice Blast. Next up we have Grand Prix, which is a little car ride where you can drive these cars around a track, and you get some brilliant views of some of the other Pleasure Beach rides such as Icon and this, and you know, it's a really enjoyable one. It's a nice one for us thrill seekers to relax on, you know, take a break from the big rides. However, it's not like so tiny that you can't fit on it, and it's basically only suitable for little children. And again, I'll probably put this in good, to be honest, because it's one that I really do enjoy. Steeplechase is up next, and this is another controversial one. This is an arrow racing coaster where there's 3 tracks and you sit on horses that basically race each other. Some people find this okay, others, particularly males, find it quite uncomfortable. However, personally, I find it okay actually, and you know what, I do enjoy it, to be fair, and I'm gonna put it in good because I do quite enjoy it. Or do I want to put it in? I need to move some things down here actually. So I've just moved Alice Ride down to average. I've just had a bit of a reconsider of my rankings of rides at the park, and Alice Ride sits more suitably in that category. Next up we have another classic carousel ride, and this is the Thompson's Carousel, which is similar to Gallopers, to be honest. So I'm going to be harsh and put it in boring because it's basically the same sort of thing. And now we have the incredible water ride Valhalla, which is currently closed for refurbishment for 2022, when it's going to reopen again. Hopefully, if COVID doesn't delay it again, because it was due to open this year originally, and then everything that happened last year delayed it. This is absolutely incredible, incorporating fire, water. It may not be one you get to ride, as I say, if you visit in 2021 you certainly won't anyway, but yeah, it's absolutely incredible, and it's going straight up to amazing because like it deserves it. However, we have something not so good, and that is Infusion. This ride hurts. It is a Vekoma suspended looping coaster, and it's another one that Pleasure Beach need to get rid of, like for a new coaster or just something, because it's terrible. You know, I said Impossible was like the worst ride at the park, but you know what, I take that back. This is even worse. You know, if there's one coaster you're gonna miss when you go to Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and you know that you're gonna save to the end of the day and then just do if you have time, make it this one, because it's terrible. And there we go, not pleasurable, because it literally is painful as hell. Krusty Krab Order Up is up next, and this is a small drop tower ride in Nickelodeon Land. It's a bit like a mini version of Ice Blast, however you don't get the shot up in the air essentially. It just goes up slowly and then drops back down a few times. But you know, it's a great one that you could take maybe your children on, or just go on yourself if you're not quite up for Ice Blast and want like something smaller to work up for it. And you know, it's alright. You know, I do have a soft spot for like drop tower rides, so even though it's a small ride, you know, we'll put it in average because it is alright, to be fair. Next up then is Nickelodeon Streak, and this is a wooden roller coaster, classic 1933 wooden roller coaster, originally called Roller Coaster. And no, could they literally not think of anything else? But if you would like a new roller coaster at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, then be sure to subscribe to Thrillnet, because if we get to 300 subscribers by the end of April, I'll email the park's managing director, Amanda Thompson, and ask her to destroy Impossible for a new roller coaster. Okay, maybe not, because I'm scared of her. John! But please do subscribe and hit the bell to enable notifications. That way you'll become part of the Thrill Network and be notified about everything Thrill related in the UK and beyond via the internet. Whether it be Blackpool Pleasure Beach updates and vlogs, Alton Towers top 10s, you name it.
But yeah, it's a nice fun wooden roller coaster. Definitely under the family coaster bracket rather than the thrill coaster bracket. However, you know, it's a great one for children to go on, or just anyone in general looking to work up to bigger roller coasters, particularly the bigger wooden roller coasters, which are Big Dipper and Grand National. But yeah, you know, it's a nice one that can be enjoyed by both thrill seekers, because you know it's still mildly thrilling, along with families with younger children. And I just realised that Darby Racer is in great. That's like way too high. Let's put that back down to good. Pleasure Beach Express is up next, and it's a similar concept to Grand Prix with this one, except you don't like drive it unless you're the driver. But yeah, it's another one that us thrill seekers, theme park enthusiasts and geeks, you know, it's one that we go on to take a break from the big rides in particular. You know, to get some off-ride shots of them and just taking the amazing views of the park, really. But again, it's another one that little children can enjoy, you know, a nice train ride for them if they're not up for the bigger rides, and or they want to take a break from something, or you know, whatever. So again, it's another one that's going to go in good. Red Arrow Skyforce is up next, and this is a thrilling flat ride. However, the issue with this one is that you basically have to control the ride yourself. For those who don't know, with this ride you basically sit in one of a few aeroplanes attached to this massive arm that lifts up and spins around, and you can basically push the wings down and rock from side to side to rock the plane, and basically make it go upside down if you rock hard enough. And that is the problem. You have to put a lot of effort in to sort of spin this like plane that you're sat in upside down, and it's just a bit hard work, to be honest, to do. So again, it's going to be one that I put in average. Next we have Revolution, a shuttle coaster manufactured by the now defunct manufacturer Aerodynamics. This is a very underrated roller coaster. It's absolutely brilliant. The basis of this ride may only be that, you know, you're launched off a platform, you go for a loop, and then the process is repeated in reverse. However, the loop is so intense that it makes for an amazing ride. Hence why I'm going to put it in amazing. Next up is River Caves, another dark ride at the park. I definitely say that it's the weakest dark ride at the park. However, it's also the oldest, having opened in 1905, and it's just quite dated, to be honest. It's a slow dark ride. Not a lot happens in it. You go through like some caves, pretty much, some caverns. There's like an Egyptian scene, like a prehistoric scene, and just, you know, a few other sort of scenes based on things in the world.
Wow, that was an absolutely terrible explanation.
But yeah, there's not a lot of sort of action in any of the scenes. A lot of it's quite static, with just like, you know, some animatronics moving a little bit. But yeah, for that reason, it's going to go in average. It's not like Valhalla with like fire and water effects, like anything amazing like that. Rugrats Lost River is up next, a small log flume ride in Nickelodeon land. Again, this is another one that little children can go on and enjoy to build up to some of the bigger rides in the park, particularly Valhalla with this one, because that's sort of the thrill equivalent with this, because Valhalla has sort of much bigger drops and stuff than Rugrats Lost River. And you know, this one again, I'd probably say it's average, to be honest. Like, it's okay. It's just got one small drop and that's it. And there's not much theming wise or anything, or scenery wise to sort of see as you go sort of round this slow ride. You don't get particularly anything like view wise, like amazing in terms of seeing things elsewhere in the park. But yeah, it's a nice little ride. Spongebob Splash Bash is up next, and this ride, to be honest, it's not really suitable for the UK climate. because the basis of it is that you get wet, you sort of squirt each other with water and stuff, and get a bit wet, to be honest. But yeah, with it raining so much in the UK because of our terrible weather, it's literally a ride I've never been on, because like, you do get wet on Valhalla as well, but at least that's worth it for sort of the thrill aspect and all the special effects you see throughout the ride. But with this one, you get none of that. You basically just sat on these boats getting drenched. But I'm gonna put it, it's not exactly boring, but like, in terms of the categories, like from good to bad, like it definitely rates sort of there. Wallace and Gromit's Thrillermatic is up next. Of course, this is a dark ride theme to Wallace and Gromit. Absolutely brilliant. Again, it's one of the better dark rides in the park. I'd say it's second best after Valhalla. And you know what? Let's put it up to great, because it's so much fun, this ride. I really do enjoy it. Wonder Pet's Big Circus Bounce is up next, and this is another little Nickelodeon land ride. It spins round, it's a spinning flat ride, bounces up and down a bit, but there's nothing too much to it, so I'm going to put it in boring. But again, if you've got little children, definitely give it a go. Alpine Rally is another little car ride, similar to Eddie Stobart, except you're sat in cars that waste some space, and is only really suitable for little children, so we're going to put it in not pleasurable. Avalanche is up next, the Mack bobsleigh coaster, where you sit in like a bobsleigh style train, you go up a lift hill on normal track, and then you go into a trough and it meanders down. It's quite a fun ride, this one. It's another sort of family coaster. It is a bit uncomfortable with the way like sort of the lap bar restraints work on there, like they press against you quite a bit, but it's definitely worthy of the good tier. Next we have Avatar Airbender, which is a Zamperla Disco flat ride in Nickelodeon Land, and definitely one of the more thrilling flat rides in Nickelodeon Land. And this one, it's good. I've only ridden it once, when my good friend Josh from Theme Park Mad, definitely go and check out that YouTube channel on YouTube, Theme Park Mad, produces some brilliant content. He persuaded me to go on it, and I enjoyed it. It was good. Like, it wasn't anything out of this world, but again, definitely worthy of the good tier. Backyardians Pirate Treasure is up next. This is a little flat ride in Nickelodeon Land that spins around, but it's actually good, this one. It's quite thrilling. But yeah, another spinning flat ride. It doesn't like raise up in the air, but it's quite fast, and you get to go backwards on it as well. So it's pretty average, and yeah, I've ridden it a couple of times and it's okay. Next we have Big Dipper, a wooden roller coaster. In fact, the oldest wooden roller coaster in the park, having opened in 1923. Now this has been getting really quite rough these last couple of years. Even like on non-wheel seats, it's had a bit of a rattle to it. But yeah, this is definitely sit on non-wheel seats for this one. It's worse than Grand National. If you sit on a wheel seat, and the back row wheel seat to be specific, trust me, you will know about it, and not in a good way. But honestly, Big Dipper, I do enjoy it, to be fair, and it's another one that I'm going to put in the good tier. In fact, you know what, we'll move it up to great, to be fair, because I do enjoy it quite a bit. The UK's tallest roller coaster, Big One, is up next, and this gets a lot of hate because it doesn't have any airtime. And by that, for anyone who doesn't know, I mean, it doesn't fling you up out your seat or anything, which the theme park enthusiasts, us theme park geeks, believe that a coaster of 213 foot, basically, a coaster of that size should do. However, I really enjoy it. It gives some incredible views across the Pleasure Beach and Blackpool as a whole. It's the icon of Blackpool that isn't icon. And yeah, it's brilliant, it's amazing, I love it, it's fun, and I could ride it all day, to be honest, but not for as long as I could ride Icon. Bikini Bottom Bus Tour is up next. I know, an interesting name for a children's ride, and that's all we'll say with that one. I know Blackpool Beach is, you know, just across the road, but hey yo.
Wow, I am so immature.
But yeah, for those who don't know, this is like a mini magic carpet ride, except you're sat in a bus. A mini Quantum at Fort Park is the best way I can sort of describe it. But yeah, it's a fun little ride, this one, to be fair. Nothing amazing, but I mean, it's pretty average for, you know, little kids ride. We'll put in average. Definitely take the kids on it, you know, but just sort of hide their eyes from the name, because, you know, you might not want them to see what this ride's called. Blue Flyer is up next, the 1934 little junior wooden roller coaster. It's a brilliant starter coaster, the perfect starter coaster for little children, so definitely take them on it. And it'd be unfair to put it in boring, to be honest. And, you know, for its size, you know, it's okay. It's got a nice few drops in there. And yeah, we'll put it in average. Last but not least is the Chinese puzzle maze. And this is sort of a maze near to Nickelodeon Land, that sort of area in the park, just outside it. Nothing too interesting in here, you know. I put it in boring. I know I said last but not least, and it isn't the worst attraction at the park, but you know, you get some good views across Nickelodeon Land if you stand on some of the bridges in it. One other quick change then I've decided I'm going to make is I'm going to move Wallace and Gromit's Thrillermatic down to good, because when I think about it, I do rate that ride lower than some of the rides in good. And I'm actually going to move Nickelodeon Streak up to great, because I actually only rate that slightly lower than both Grand National and Big Dipper, so I do think it deserves to be up there.
To find out more about what Blackpool Pleasure Beach has to offer, be sure to click the video in the top right of your screen to go and watch my vlog from the park's 2020 opening day. Be sure to also click the icon at the bottom of your screen to subscribe to the channel. If you enjoyed this video and got value from it, be sure to also hit the like button, as it really does help out the channel. I'm Ben, thank you so much for watching ThrillNet, and I'll see you next time.